Honorable Mr. R.S. Sharma ji, Chairman TRI, all the dignitaries on the dais, office bearers of ASSOCHAM, and the delegates of this very, very important and vital conference held by ASSOCHAM. I thank ASSOCHAM and all the office bearers for inviting me over as a special guest and allowing me to be enlightened by the presentations of such great luminaries of the industry. It definitely helps us to not only understand what's going on at the national and international level, it also helps us to give challenges to ourselves that what the government needs to respond to the expectations of the industry. And also, when we do understand or try to figure out the wish list of the industry, it also gives an opportunity for us to create our own wish list as far as you are concerned. We can ask you to deliver on your part. Thank you so much once again. As the representative of the government of Haryana, and I see myself as representative of various state governments, as one of the ministers, of course, I'm definitely enlightened. It's my job to actually share with you what the governments at the state level are doing. So while doing that job, once I share that, I definitely would like to conclude with our wish list of what we expect you to do, if you allow me the time to share my views with you. As we all know that, and it's been said a number of times, Honorable Prime Minister has laid out a very, very ambitious vision for this country. The digital India is one of his main priority areas. With all the talks of social inclusion, all the talks of economic inclusion, financial inclusion, it's time to embark upon a very, very ambitious target of digital inclusion of every citizen to the last mile in this country, and that's what we are here for. Government of Haryana is definitely seized of this very, very important element in completing, in achieving the vision of Honorable Prime Minister by following what has been laid out in Digital India and the vision of Digital India by providing and supporting in the creation of digital infrastructure. That's one of the elements of this Digital India campaign. The governance and e-services on demand, and also the digital empowerment of citizens. All the three factors we are trying to work simultaneously in alignment with the vision of Government of India. Haryana, as you all know, that is already a very, very IT proactive state. We have the honor of hosting almost 200 out of the Fortune 500 companies in the country, in our state, and particularly in the city of Gurgaon. And the IT BPM industry of Haryana, it contributes almost 10% of the GDP of the state. And of course, 54% of the total exports that the state is able to deliver comes from the ITS sector, providing employment of direct employment to 2.5 to 3 lakh people and indirect employment to 8 to 9 lakh people, as claimed by NASSCOM. I wish they paid more revenues as a finance minister. But of course, these are some things we are proud of. They have helped us in setting up Gurgaon as one of the millennium cities in the country, and we really wish to take it forward to the next level of we would really like the ITS and BPOs and KPOs operating out of Haryana. They go to the next level, and as a state government, we are committed to help them, support them, and also engage with them, even to the extent of providing, government providing as part of the subsidies and financial supports, if the industry wishes to come forward in setting up incubators and any sort of application development center, which I'm sure which you all would love to engage with us, because it will ultimately end up in help supporting more and more IT activity, which actually is the best thing that can happen to the industry. Having said this, I remember one of the conferences I attended with Mr. R.S. Sharma. We were reporting on the NOFN, the BharatNet, and that what we have done. And again, I present to the August House that Haryana is very, very aggressive on setting up this NOFN. We already have laid out in 2015-16 that we must achieve more than 60% of our villages to be connected with the optical fiber network in this year itself. And other work that duct work and the optical fiber laying work, everything is in progress. And I really wish that it was faster. And I don't want to make a political statement out of it, but the kind of inheritance that we had 10 months ago, you'll be surprised and shocked to know that Haryana was one of the laggards as far as the IT enablement of e-government governance is concerned. Mr. Sharma, you must be aware of this. The Aadhaar card registration in Haryana was one of the lowest in the country. And I can say with a sense of achievement in last 10 months, under the able leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, today Haryana has 94.7% Aadhaar card registration, registering highest growth on month-on-month basis in last 10 months. And this is exactly what we believe, that for e-governance to happen, the Aadhaar card is the best thing that has happened. And I wish that if we have the mapping of each and every individual, as I call it, that's the demographic mapping, I wish that we had something like the geographical mapping also. Like every individual is mapped, every inch of land should have been mapped and should be mapped, and it's not, I think time has come that we work towards it. And Haryana government is actually trying to work towards this too, which I'm sure some of you must be aware. While we are setting up these NOFN, and some of the states have done very well, and I heard in the presentations, and I must appreciate some of the states who have done well as far as setting up these computer service centers and various delivery points in the villages and in the rural areas. And we are trying to make up for the lost time, and we're working towards it, and we do wish to achieve 2,500 villages this year, having Gram Sachivalayas, e-Gram Sachivalayas, and we have notified more than 161 services, a right to services act to be provided under these e-governance model, and the delivery point, of course, is the CSC. And this year, 2015-16, we have a target of setting up 2,500 e-Gram Sachivalayas, out of which 961 have already been set up. So we are bang on target. It's not a political statement that I'm trying to make out of here. E-services, I just said, the 163 services are laid out to be delivered, and at a very, very nominal cost of 10 rupees to 650 rupees per service. And besides this, I'm sorry you'll allow me to sway from, my presentation can't be structured as most of the presentations have been. This much space a political person can always seek from you. Then, as far as digital infrastructure is concerned, while I mentioned NOFNs, CSCs, there are also, as a state government, we want to act as a service provider of infrastructure service providers to the possible potential individual entrepreneurs in the state. And we must have the digital infrastructure in place. We must have the technology parks in place. We must have the industrial parks which support these IT and IT services in place. And for that, we have already set up software technology parks, and more brownfield projects are coming up in the state of Haryana. I don't want to waste your time in listing out those names, which may sound very unfamiliar to you, but it is there. And there's one interesting thing the state of Haryana has actually, we have tied up with NASSCOM in setting up a startup warehouse, and one of the corporations of Haryana, Hartron, whose MD, my colleague Vijender, is also here. And we are trying to actually build up a startup warehouse in Gurgaon. As I said, we want to take it to the next level, that still the time we are able to explore the potential opportunity of entrepreneurship in every inch of land and space. And there is tremendous scope of these applications development, and so many things are happening in the world over. Actually, honestly speaking, I sometimes wonder, and I do get surprised at why these such big industries who are represented here and these big corporates are not investing enough in and engaging and participating with the educational institutions and engaging with the young IT professionals in these applications development, and acting as angel investors and acting as kind of guides and mentors, and making these youngsters to come up with these new applications and products, so that which will actually add a lot of value to the day-to-day life, not only e-governance. I'm sure e-governance is something which I can always touch later, But generally, as more and more such applications come up and they become successful, ultimately, the gainer are going to be the service providers, that the traffic is going to blow up to any levels. So this is something which while being in the government, I do feel there is something much more to be done at the private initiative level. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already mentioned about Aadhaar. There's interesting thing that we have done. You must have heard at the Government of India level that the biometrics attendance has been introduced, and there's a lot of positive, negative response about it. But as Government of Haryana is concerned, we introduced this biometrics attendance just about a few months ago. And 25,000 employees working in the Secretariat at Government of Haryana level are today marking their attendance through these biometric systems. And we did conduct a survey of this huge sample size. And we were amazed at the number of times, the amount of time that is spent in the offices, which increased. And we also could relate to the files that were processed in the offices. There was a conspicuous improvement in the overall performance of the delivery in the Secretariat. And our Chief Minister was telling me yesterday that now, very soon, we are going to come up with this 300,000 employees of Haryana government. Wherever they are reporting in their offices, they have to report through the biometrics attendance system. So, but I really believe that this is just a tip of the iceberg of the entire potential that lies in front of us. And I do feel that so much more can be done, and we are not doing enough, honestly speaking. We collectively, don't blame me alone. So, another field I would like to report here is that, as you mentioned, as a finance minister and industries minister, I also have the opportunity of serving Haryana as revenue minister, and we did start this initiative of e-stamping and e-registration. And I'm very pleased to know that some of the districts in the state of Haryana, we have zero pendency in the mutations, in the land record mutations. The biggest challenge is Gurgaon and Faridabad, and we have taken it upon ourselves that we will finish it in just next 2 days. The deadline was 15 September. We are not meeting this deadline, but definitely in the next 2 months, we should be able to achieve this. This is a huge, humongous task that's getting to bring the data of every property on land and in space and on record with the complete legacy data of 60 years. But hundreds and hundreds of young IT professionals have been hired in the last 8-9 months, and we are about to achieve this. This is another interesting project that Honorable Chief Minister has taken upon himself. He's leading us from the front, is that state resident database. It's a very ambitious project. As I said, that we want to create a database of demography as well as geography. And this is, again, on track. And I don't want to, again, go into details because I know many of you know much more than actually what I'm saying, or know better than what I'm actually going to say or commit on this. A very impressive result that came about was from the introduction of Aadhaar enabled. As I said earlier, it's the best thing that could have happened in terms of e-governance. And I was thanking Mr. R. Sharma for this. And so the benefits that we accrued from this, when we, within the framework of Honorable Supreme Court's guidelines, when we did try to utilize, I'm not saying stressing on this, when we did try to utilize the Aadhaar card as the basis of every benefit that citizen will get from the government. So it did help us a lot. I can't enumerate the figures here now on this forum, but it did save the government a lot in terms of saving on the leakages and pilferages, bringing in transparency and accountability, and also ensuring the delivery of the government services to the citizens' life with a surgical precision. And we are going whole hog on this. And we are also dovetailing a lot of Government of India initiatives in terms of the Jan Dhan Yojana and the insurance schemes with everything that is possible with the initiatives of the state government. And we have 2,200,000 pension beneficiaries in the state of Haryana, distributing almost 5,000 crore rupees annually. And now we have strictly made it that it has to be done through the banks, and as far as possible and practicable, it should be Aadhaar enabled. So it's a big leap forward. There's another experiment that we did is CM window, and you will be surprised that we had almost 100,000 plus grievances that came up in last few months, and then a call center operating at the back end and checking with each and every complaint on the follow-up part, and this delivery of satisfaction level is almost 80 to 90% as far as this grievance redressal mechanism, e-grievance redressal mechanism is concerned. It's an amazing thing. And people could just post their pictures, post their photos with the complaint that there's a dirt lying here, this is dirty, the pipe is not working, the power is not there in this area, and then we were responding on those things. And of course, the police, and as the industrial training minister, I had the privilege of introducing the online admission. This was a very typical thing. I'm sure you know that you've been doing online admissions all over. But sometimes the magnitude of the peculiar problem, it amazes you that you can probably not understand or even fathom sometimes that a small industrial training institution which a student wants to join after passing 10th grade in school, that he has 70, 80 grades to choose from. He had 250 institutions to pick up from. 250 into 60 to 80 grades, and there those many number of applications one has to process. So this is sometimes mind-boggling for a student to be able to actually pinpoint that where he wants to go. So the only thing that could have helped was making it online, and achieving this was a great satisfaction. And again, since it was a small department, this was the first department, Government of Haryana, wherein up to the minister level, that is up to the government level, we had no file in the form of physical file, and the entire, even the minister was signing with digital signature. I was signing as a minister with my digital signature there. This is another very interesting move that we made. Not to mention the educations, IT skills, and yes, 100% of the procurement in the government of Haryana today, it's thousands of crores, is made on e-tenders. It's made online, 100%. Every small contract, even the contract given at the panchayat level today, the BDO is monitoring that they have to be made online. So as small as less than 10 lakh rupees also have to be made online. So the commercial taxes, of course, I have the privilege of serving state of Haryana as the excise taxation minister also. And we did introduce this online C-form thing, and I know that we are not the best in the country as yet, but the rewards are, again, they're very impressive, and we are doing a lot of good on that. And health management information system, there is a very impressive and ambitious plan that Government of Haryana has made, that we have in state government almost 54 general hospitals, 112 community health centers, 446 public health centers, a very robust healthcare infrastructure in the country, and we are servicing, you'll be surprised, approximately 75% of our population in government hospitals in the state of Haryana. And in the OPDs, we wish to make a online record of the medical and health on all the criteria of every citizen of the state, which will be available. The citizen can go from any district to the other district, and he just has to refer his medical health card number, and all the details will, I'm sure you know all that. But this is something the Government of Haryana has taken upon itself, and we already started a pilot project in some of the hospitals. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have been mentioning in my statement so far, skipping some of these things, I believe that my conviction will fall short of the level of your convictions in many things. With a broader commitment that yes, as a state, we're trying to do our best. But as I said earlier, I sometimes believe and I wonder why enough is not being done. State government can only be an enabler, a facilitator, a coordinator, but the opportunities have to be explored by the private initiators, by the entrepreneurs, by the business. And we need to engage more proactively. Imagine the opportunities that lie, which we see every day in the governance. There is a tremendous gap in what we need to do, what we ought to do, and what we are able to do. And you know those gaps. There are opportunities for the private sector to find out wherever you can pitch in and design those models. I invite you to design those models on PPP basis, and let's explore. And I'm sure that the models that you will work out, the architecture of the model, and what I generally get interested in, the economy of that model, which you can work out, will definitely be better than what we are spending on per capita on each of those services that we need to do. I just try to give an example on this. Just imagine that we have CCTV all over the state, at least in the major areas of concentration of population. And then so much of value addition can be thought in terms of monetizing those data which you will be generating on the CCTVs in terms of footfalls on the streets, in terms of footfalls in the malls, and wherever the and I'm sure a lot of more value addition can be thought of in those terms. And also on the roads, on the highways, there are thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of vehicles flying in on the highways without any automatic number plate recognition system. Now, if there is some company who comes forward and says that I will provide this ANPRS and then generate the value out of that data that is available and then monetize for itself and also monetize for the government. Maybe there is something for even the government to get something out of it, out of that opportunity. So there are plethora of such things which could be created. We are setting up these smart cities, and I'm sure, of course, the concept is great, and Hon'ble Prime Minister has envisioned to take India to the global level as far as the urban areas are concerned through these smart cities, particularly. I believe that there's a lot of value which can be added to the basic concept of smart city that has been provided so far. Of course, in government of Haryana, as I said, that there are opportunities for you. You can come up with the proposals of setting up Wi-Fi zones in these concentrated areas in the universities. Each of the universities, we have 25,000 to 30,000 student population present in just about 2 square kilometer area. And imagine the potential that is there. I was just trying to pick up some points which I was trying to note down, so please pardon me for my unorganized presentations. My colleague here wanted me to mention the accolades and awards that Government of Haryana has won. So I'm performing my duty towards my colleague, Mr. Vijendra IAS. Yes, Government of Haryana has, he is leading these projects, and I'm very proud of this young officer with us, that we have won prestigious Scotch Awards, and the Government of Haryana Revenue Department, Harris and Halris project, we won the Scotch Challenger Award 2010 and Scotch Order of Merit Awards in 2014. And E. Mosam again is won Scotch Order of Merit Award in 2014. And I think that should be enough. You allow me to sum up. And I'm sure that I've said enough as far as what I feel. If you don't please, you can pardon me for using very strong words. Haryanvis are generally known for using strong words, so you can discount my strong words if there are any. That please to get out of this slumber and this inertia and proactively engage with the young IT professionals and different state governments in terms of realizing these opportunities. And lastly, before I sum up, when I say there's so many opportunities, we at individual level, all of us, and at the end of the day, I do try to calculate for myself how much time did I spend on social media out of the 24 hours that I have. Every night I do an audit and write in my diary that I spend 56 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes on just social media. And then I wonder each night or next morning when I get up that will the system is collectively be all together? Will we be able to design those architectures, those systems, those procedures in the governance that as a citizen, I wish that I'm able to spend more time or at least as much time that I'm spending on social media on various e-governance platforms. That's the ideal utopian model. I know the social media presence is so over-envisaging, that encompassing, which if we can take it to that level, and I'm sure that we will achieve our purpose, our collective purpose. Thank you all so much for providing me this opportunity. Thank you for providing me with such a patient audience. I'm amazed. Thank you so much.